What's up guys, it's Mystic coming to you guys with yet another YouTube video. Now today we're going to be talking about The Flash, specifically Season 2 Episode 20 called Rupture. Now let's get right into it because this episode was amazing. It was great storytelling, it was great pacing, there was a lot of side storylines besides just the main Barry storyline that fortunately they did really well, and it's a huge step up from the last episode and even from episode 18. Even though most of that episode was good, I think there was some controversy of how easily Barry just went ahead and gave his powers and pretty much gave him the zoom. But let's get into it, right? So we start out with the opening shot is a car chase, and Barry is, at first it seems like Barry's back with his powers. Unfortunately, Cisco made a hologram of him where he actually controls the hologram throughout the city while Barry runs on a treadmill in a separate room. So it was a good way to fool some robbers that they were trying to chase down. They ended up capturing them, so that was good. And once they get back to the lab, Harrison Wells is right there, and they talk about the consequences and the potential advantages and disadvantages of him trying to get his powers back by recreating the particle explosion. Now there's a lot of tug of war in this episode between Harrison Wells, Henry Allen, Barry's dad, and even Joe West. Even Joe West is kind of in the middle. He doesn't really take sides, but between Wells and Barry's dad, there's a lot of tug of war because honestly, his dad is trying to convince him not to go through with him becoming the Flash again, and Harrison is pushing him to be the Flash again, obviously because he knows how dangerous Zoom is. And his dad doesn't want him to be the Flash again just because of the dangers. He could die, he can end up in a coma, and honestly, they did it really, really well. Like I said, they put a lot of things in this episode, but with excellent writing, and it fit perfectly. Nothing seemed too rushed, it didn't seem convoluted, it didn't seem packed with information and just kind of went everywhere. No, it was really, really well done, and that was one of the things that I really liked, and especially that conflict between all of them. So let's get to the next part. After that, Barry visits his dad, and he's, somewhere in the woods. He has a cabin and all that stuff, and they sit down, they talk about everything that's happened so far as Zoom, the battles between Zoom and just Jay Garrick in general, the fact that he betrayed him because, they ended up trusting him, but he ended up betraying them at the end. There was a small Easter egg where Barry's dad tells Barry that Barry's grandmother's maiden name was Garrick. I don't know if it's just a teaser, if it's just an Easter egg, or if it has something to do with Zoom. Hunter Zolomon got the inspiration of becoming Jay Garrick. If it has anything to do with that, we don't know yet. Might be related to the Man in the Iron Mask. Again, we still don't know, but it was a nice Easter egg that they threw in there. It was really cool. Back at the lab, Cisco gets a vibe of his brother. He doesn't know what it's about, but right away his intuition tells him that he might be in trouble, so he goes out and tries to find him. They meet at a bar, and you can tell right away that nothing's changed. They really kind of don't get along. They seem to have some tension still there, even though they had that kidnapping situation going on in Season 1. They're still not very close. After that, Wally talks to his dad about becoming an engineer, and he actually says he doubts if it's the thing for him, because after Barry gave up his speed and saved him from Zoom, he feels like he must do something else with his life, that he should go in a different direction, that maybe being an engineer is probably not the best thing to do. And as that happens, Zoom enters the police station, and he declares the city to be his, that the police are under his orders, and that they have to do what he says. He brings Caitlin along, and Caitlin tells him not to harm them. He ends up letting them get away, or at least walk out the police station unharmed, basically because I don't know if he loves her or if he's just obsessed with her. It's kind of hard to tell, just because of what's going on. I don't know where they're gonna take that. Like I said, if he's obsessed or in love, but that was also a side story in the show, in this episode, between Caitlin and Zoom. We'll talk more about that in just a second. So Joe locks up Wally and Jesse into the time vault once they get back to Star Labs. And it's kind of funny how he locks them up, just because, I mean, they're young, they're still teenagers, who knows what may happen, but, you know, obviously he has to, you know, keep them safe from Zoom. So they're locked up in there and they can't get out because they need Harrison's fingerprints or authorization from the outside or who knows what, but they can't get out. Barry sets the record straight between his dad, Harrison, and Joe that he has to make the decision, because he walks on them arguing to the point where, you know, obviously Barry's dad doesn't want his son to die, be harmed. Harrison doesn't want the same things that happened in Earth 2 to happen on Earth 1. And Joe seems, like I said, to be right in the middle. He doesn't take sides. He knows that Barry's going to make a decision, and once he makes a decision, he's going to stick to it, and there's no turning him back. And I think Joe is the one that probably trusts Barry's better judgment, trusts him to do the right thing. Barry tells him, you know what, stop fighting, I'm going to make the decision on my own. They make up a plan where they put up a task force in Jitters. A task force to maybe take out Zoom or stay in hiding. So then we cut back to the bar scene where Cisco is with Dante and they're leaving the bar. At that point, they are attacked by a new metahuman, and it's Rupture. And I actually liked him a lot, believe it or not. The way his weapon, his abilities were very, very cool. I think they, no offense to Griffin Grey, I know they were trying to do the best they could with Griffin Grey, but I just think that this character was a lot better, a lot more, just better developed as far as some of the graphics, and just his design was a lot cooler than Griffin Grey, which is unfortunate just because Griffin Grey and Rupture are now going to be returning. But anyways, they're attacked, they end up getting away, and at that point, Rupture goes back to Zoom because he's working for him, and Zoom orders him to go to Jitters and kill the police officers there. So Rupture goes out, however, Caitlin overhears his plans and actually finds a cell phone in a evidence box or container at the police station. She texts the team that Rupture is on his way to kill everyone at Jitters. So at that point, Barry has to make a decision whether or not to get his speed back or try to stop Rupture without his speed. So he says, you know what, let's do this without the speed. And I think he is influenced by everyone, by Joe, his dad, by Henry Wells, but I think one of the main people in his life right now that cause him to make that decision is Iris, because him and Iris have a scene where she declares her love to him, and the way she feels that everything that's happened so far between, Earth 2, where they were married in Earth 2, and their future, that in the future that they're married already, and just basically her feelings towards him. She feels like it's destiny, that she needs to be with him at the end of their journey. He doesn't really express the same feeling or emotions right there and then, but I think it did affect him when he decided to take on Rupture without his powers, because she does tell him, you know what, I'm gonna love you, I'm gonna care about you whether you're the Flash or not. So that was cool, and like I said, I think there was a lot of heart to this episode, a lot of emotion too, and very well done once again. So Rupture arrives at Jitters, and Barry tries to fool him with the hologram. He moves around, what's his name? Cisco helps him out, and they end up fooling him, and the police get the drop on him. They ended up knocking him down and capturing him. At the same time, all of this is being broadcast, and Zoom finds out that Rupture fails. Right away, he knows that Caitlin is the one behind it. He finds out that all the evidence boxes are open, the lids are open. He just goes apeshit because he is mad. He is really mad that she betrayed him. And the funny thing about that is that she still calls him Jay. And it's kind of weird, and I don't know if he just doesn't like to be called Hunter Zolomon, or that he is so obsessed with it that he doesn't mind being called Jay. But that's one of the things that was kind of funny, she still called him Jay. Another thing that's kind of cool is a lot of the scenes, there's more and more scenes now where he takes off the mask and he talks in that voice, and those eyes turn completely jet black, without his mask on, and I think that is really cool. I think they did a really good job with that, and I think he's doing a pretty good job with as far as being the villain of the season. I absolutely love Zoom. Alright, because he's mad, he goes out to Jitters and kills everyone. And by killing everyone, he just goes super fast and snaps everyone's neck. And he is so mad that he just kills Dante from Earth 2, Rupture. Just for the heck of it, because he's so mad. Just because Rupture failed him and he couldn't kill anyone. So he picks up the camera because it's being broadcast. There was a cameraman there from a news channel, and tells everyone that the Flash that's been going around in the city lately has only been a hologram, and crushes everyone's hope. Anyone that was watching that at home or wherever, just killed anyone and everyone's hope that the Flash was still protecting the city. So everyone's all bummed out, sad. They go back to Star Labs, and what happens? Harrison Wells warns everyone once again that Zoom needs to be stopped, that Barry needs his powers back. And that not only that, but Zoom is going to continue to recruit metahumans on Earth 1, just like he did on Earth 2, kill more police officers, and kill anyone that defies him, or just kill anyone just for the heck of it. Barry ends up, saying, we need to stop him. I know it's a big risk, but let's do it. Let's do the experiment. Let's recreate the particle accelerator explosion, and let's get my powers back. So they go back into they go back into this room where they have all the equipment set up, and they strap him down. They make Cisco go up in the roof to recreate the storm using the wand he used from season 1, the wand that created an actual storm. He's gonna act, well, he acted as a lightning rod, so that the storm, the lightning, would hit the equipment, and obviously zap Barry the same way he was hit by lightning the very first time he got the Speed Force. So he goes onto the roof. He turns on the particle accelerator, and also injects Barry with all these chemicals. Now he explains that he has to have all the exact conditions from the first time, because Barry was analyzing fingerprints at that time, and he was working with chemicals, and those specific chemicals had to be in this explosion as well. So he injects him with them, particle accelerator goes off, and then he gets struck by lightning again. However, this time he ends up disintegrating and turning completely into energy. Now from afar, Zoom is watching this because he sees the lightning storm going on, and he just races to Star Labs to try to either stop or find out what the heck is going on. Alright, so he rushes in there, and Barry's gone. His energy goes through the corridor of Star Labs, through a hallway, and ends up hitting Jesse and Wally as they try to escape the time vault. Now I think that's just an Easter egg. I think that it's just kind of teasing the viewers, teasing everyone that maybe something is going to happen with them. I think maybe in season 3 eventually, either she's going to become Jesse Quick or he's going to become Wally West, Kid Flash. We don't know yet. Obviously the writers like to keep the pacing pretty slow as far as that goes, and I think it's perfect. We don't need a rush storyline of Wally becoming Kid Flash anytime soon, because Zoom is still the main focus of the show, Zoom and Barry. So I think they need to sprinkle that in slowly, because the content of this show is amazing. They don't need to rush it. Everyone right away finds out or just hits them that Barry is dead, and the emotional impact, I think they did really well. Iris starts crying. Harrison Wells, you can see the look on his face. He is disappointed. He is absolutely crushed by the fact that his experiment, his idea, did not work, because it was his idea to try to get his speed back. And like I said, the ending was amazing. Like I said, there was a lot of side stories where even Cisco ended up getting closer, bonding with his brother, because Dante from Earth 2 ended up dying, and that kind of brought them a little closer together. And Caitlin and Zoom, Wally and Jesse, there were a lot of side storylines that fit really, really well. It didn't feel packed, anything like that. And at the end, Zoom rushes into the lab and finds out that he's dead, that Barry's dead, or at least that's what he assumes, and tells them, well, you guys did a pretty good job, I didn't have to kill him, you guys killed him for me, and rushes back out. He doesn't kill anyone, but like I said, he just went in there to gloat, but it was really, really well done. Again, guys, thanks a lot for watching the video. I hope you guys liked the recap kind of review. And like I said, this was a big step up from episode 19. Huge step up, and I can't wait until next episode. Now, make sure you guys hit that like button and that subscribe button. Why not? Leave me a comment to tell me if whether or not you guys like these kind of commentaries on these shows. I like to put my input into it. Or, you know, let me know if you guys want to see something else. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the week, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.